Welcome to this week's video with the Wandering Knapps.
Chores still need to be done and life still goes on even when there's wind. Look, you can see the palm trees.
You get a chop on the water.
And then the choppy water. And this is called Little Bay. Little Basin. It's a really tiny little chunk of water and it is like...
It's still choppy.
2-foot waves easily. So it's just choppy. We are definitely going to get wet on our way back. We had to go grocery shopping though, so look at what we did. With all of our bags, we tied them so that they'll stay as dry as possible, but we're gonna get bounced around and choppy. And then we're leaving stuff in the car too that we don't use on the boat, like tennis shoes and our beach chairs. So like these I just leave in the car, We're leaving the Cokes and the sodas because they're gonna get soaked on there and the cardboard's just gonna go flimsy.
But they were on sale today, so we bought them.
We still buy stuff on sale because we're still regular people. Bothering.
It's better than nothing.
It's gonna get full.
Soaked. Groceries made it. It wasn't too bad of a ride. It only took, what, 5 or 6 real big splashes. The rest were no big deal.
So explain why we call it the Chippy.
We went on a dinghy ride one time with another boat called Mrs. Chippy. And every time we would go, it was across the harbor in Georgetown. We would go out, crash down, and a wave would cover the boat. And every wave filled the whole boat with water. So the next wave would just wash the first wave out. And we stopped bothering to pump because it was just so... There's no point. We couldn't keep up. And it was about a 25-minute dinghy ride like that?
Yeah.
A ride that would normally take us 5 minutes took us 25 minutes.
But we still talk about that with them.
Yeah.
Of how much we still talk with
not a Chippy dinghy
that
ride.
family. And we're like, oh my gosh, it was not a Chippy ride. It was not a ride that we took with y'all.
Oh. Gotta love boat life. It's always something. So, what, 2 nights ago? We woke up and our water maker had a way different sound, way quieter. I said, that's not right. So we jumped down in the engine room, checked it out. The high pressure hose that goes from the high pressure pump to the desalination membrane had burst. And so we were just pumping water into the engine room. So we shut it off, went to bed, went back to bed. Today, Julian got a hose made, a high-pressure hose at a hydraulic place. Put it back in, fired it back up, worked fine. Let me back up by saying, while we found that leak, we also noticed that there was everything below the high-pressure pump, so everything on the low-pressure side, the hoses were all collapsed, which told us that there was a clog somewhere, and the high-pressure pump was sucking everything through and trying to, and it was collapsing the hoses because there was a clog. So we did. We had a bunch of gunk in the sea strainer. So that was part of it. Next day, we put the hose back together, cleaned out the gunk, and we ran it for, what, an hour? And then we noticed something wasn't right. I just checked it, and it was low on pressure, and so I got to look, and the hoses were collapsed again. And I thought there was a clog between the sea strainer and this pump. What this pump is, this is the low-pressure pump. So this is water comes in the boat, goes through the sea strainer, and then it comes up to this pump, and this pump sucks it from the ocean and then pushes it up through the filters to the high pressure pump. And so I thought there was a clog either going from here to the filter or maybe from here down to the sea strainer. In the process of taking it all apart, I snapped it off. So that right there means I have to buy a new pump. But there was no clog. So this pump was not pumping. So either way, I'm going to have to buy a new, what they call a low pressure pump for our water maker. On the positive side, we have 4 air conditioners in the boat. One of them in the front V-berth stopped working. I think it needs to be replaced. The one in the kitchen has not been working, and I thought there was a wiring issue. Now I'm thinking it's a, what's that thing? A thermostat issue, because I was able to wiggle the thermostat, and for the last 2 nights now, it has worked. We have been able to get the boat down to like 70 degrees at night, which is amazing. All the kids have been cold. They've had to bundle up in their blanket, and they love it.
We are a family of 5 from Texas. We sold everything to live on a boat, and we have spent the past 2 years on our 1987 Marine Trader Tradewinds 47 trawler, exploring southern Florida and the Bahamas. We have seen the highs and lows of boat life. We are no longer making definite plans, just enjoying the journey. So join us on our adventures.
Because there's so many supply chain issues right now, nobody actually has anything in stock. We are going to use this pump that runs the air conditioner in that room, which is actually broken, and we're going to put it in our water maker. It's a very similar pump. Moves a little more water than the other one, but it should work just fine. We'll go from there. Most frustrating part of all this is everything corrodes and strips, and if everything just came apart the first time, it'd all be easy. Nothing ever comes apart easy. This is my bucket full of spare parts. Got up this morning, ran to West Marine, got my 2 fittings I needed, one for each side. Install it. I got the pump all hooked up, C-stringers cleaned out, through valve is open. We're gonna fire up the generator, and then we're gonna turn on the low pressure pump, make sure it pressurizes through the system, and then we'll kick on the high pressure pump and make sure that's all working. And then after I'll yell again, go to that one in there, the gray one, and flip it up. Making water. Not sure exactly what the, somewhere there was a clog. I don't know, I switched out the pre-filters, and then it still wasn't working right, and then I messed with the adjustments on the pressure a couple times up and down, and one time it started working like it's supposed to. And so my guess is maybe there was something maybe clogged in the membrane or somewhere, and it just finally worked itself out by playing with the pressure. But everything's working. Fingers crossed. We're gonna let this run for an hour still and make water.
How much I have? 22.
You gotta draw 22 cards?
Caleb, you played another draw too?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you got a draw 2?
Carter, do you have a draw 2?
No. You got a draw
Chase,
2 or a red
red.
Chase?
I'm gonna end the draw 2s.
What? I've got more.
I skip Mom.
Thanks to Dad.
You're lucky I had another draw 2.
Okay, well, let's reverse it. Let's see how.
Life is so precious. We tell our boys, you can do anything you want in life, but you can't do everything. You must make a choice. What will you spend your life chasing? What will you prioritize? We had the blessing of watching a celebration of life from our anchorage. A local man who was loved and loved people. He focused on people and relationships. As we look back on our journey, it hasn't always been easy, and it hasn't always been fun. But time and memories we have made as a family are priceless. With great risks come great rewards. Our reward has been each moment we spend with our family. It's been worth more than any amount of money can buy. Don't let your life pass you by.
We are going to start adding something to the end of our videos, and Jolene wants to refer to it as
Talking from our aft.
because we're sitting on the aft of our boat.
You get it.
So this is just a little bit of raw, uncut thought of the day, or thought of the video, if you will.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, I don't know. I thought we'd kind of start with some of the most popular thoughts and questions we always get. Like today, I was thinking we talk about money and jobs and how we afford it.
We can't afford this.
No, we can't. But everybody around us, I promise you, they're not millionaires. Well, I don't know. Maybe that dude that owns that boat is.
It's a nice boat.
Yeah. But that's why we're in the Keys, because we're working and you have a job.
Yeah. Some people wouldn't consider it a job. Right. Because I get to go play on the ocean all day, but that kind of comes down to the choices again.
Right.
I take a lot of people out snorkeling and scuba diving and stuff, and a lot of people hear my story and they say, how can you do that? That's amazing. You're living my dream. Well, you can make the choice to live this dream. Yeah. So if you want to do it, you're going to have to give some stuff up. One of the things we give up right now is, in order to afford it, we can't stay at a marina. It's too expensive. And so we have to dinghy back and forth. We stay on anchor. And that is pretty inconvenient because I have to go to work here in 20 minutes and it's about to dump rain. So I'm going to go to work more wet than usual.
And I have to come back in the rain.
It's true. So just stuff like that. You got to make choices. And what do you really want to have? Thus far, I think we've been very happy with our decision. This world is getting crazy, and we like where we're at and what we're doing.
Yeah, we feel very fortunate to be in Florida. But to be more specific on the money part, so we have similar costs of living in a house, if not less.
No, I would say less. Definitely less.
Less.
What's the net we got to turn every month?
About $2,500 is what it costs us. And that's just our personal, like, insurances, debts, food,
fuel in the cars,
fuels, whatever, you know. So everything's different depending on, you know, your situation, what boat you buy, where you're staying. Yep. But Chris works right now, and that's why we're here in the Florida Keys, because if we're going to have a job, I think right now you can get a job anywhere.
Pretty much. If you want to work right now, you can definitely work. And if you want to work in the Florida Keys right now, you can definitely work. I think every single business that I drive by has a help wanted or a now hiring sign. The trick down here is you can't afford to live down here for what most people are paying. That's the biggest problem with the Keys. Again, why we live on a boat at anchor instead of tied up to a marina or in a condo. Yeah, that's. I want to encourage you though. If you want to do it, make some tough choices and go for it. It's not for everybody, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. If you just like watching the videos, just watch the videos. Boat week.
Boat came by and rocked us a little bit. But if you have any other topics you want us to talk about, leave those in the comments below, and we will try to do this every week at the end of every video. So talking from our aft.
Yeah. So this has been Talking from Our Aft. Remember, enjoy the journey. We'll see you guys next week.